life and a little sports. You know we're gonna play some games. And if nothing else, you know we're gonna have a laugh. We're gonna have a laugh, oh yeah. 'Cause this is the podcast.
It's a very big day on my calendar.
May 1st.
Puffy, tell me why this is a big day. What is this anniversary of?
The anniversary of...
What happened in 1999?
Married.
I will tell you. I will tell you what it is. That is the anniversary of the day you signed to join TSN.
No. Oh. It's the first day I met Puffy.
Oh, really?
No, it's my wedding anniversary.
I knew it.
But we did meet around there.
Would have been
Puffy.
right around now.
Yeah, you started. So I got married the same year I met Puffy.
Which relationship has been more impactful for you?
Oh, you're going to say intimate?
That's an easy one.
I want to say happy anniversary to my lovely wife who stuck with me for 19 solid years.
Oh,
Any
awesome.
chance she's listening?
No, there will be no chance. So
No chance.
I will say lovely things to her, but she will never hear about them nor listen. You know what's funny is my son will turn 19 in November.
Hold on a second. I'm trying to do some math here quick.
He has not done the math
Let's
yet.
just hope he has.
But it was not shotgun in that sense because we got engaged Christmas,
Yep.
pregnant March, married May. And the day was set in May, so it was just...
Sucks for Cheryl, though, on her wedding day.
The anniversary. I mean, not the anniversary, the honeymoon.
Honeymoon. You can't drink. Where'd you go on your honeymoon?
Italy.
Italy.
No
you
vino
drinking?
in Italy. I was drinking. I was going out. Here, honey, going to bed.
Morning sickness.
But it was a wonderful day. It was hot, just like it is today. Steaming hot. 28 degrees outside of Ottawa when I got married.
Nice.
And
Big wedding or intimate gathering?
like 120, pretty small.
Nice.
Is that when your dog chewed up the lawn?
Yeah, it was with my dog. My dog was the ring bearer at the wedding. He had a little tuxedo on. I also lost my golf clubs. Did I ever tell you that story on
No.
that? So we went golfing, my buddies and I, the morning of my wedding. I had like a 5 p.m. wedding.
Oh, okay.
So it wasn't a
that's fair.
stag, but it
That's
was
fair.
like, hey, let's
Yeah.
all 8 of us go golfing, and then we'll go home, get showered, go to the wedding.
Yeah.
After 9 holes, I went in to have a whiz. I came out. My clubs weren't there. So I thought, funny guys.
Yeah.
I go to the next tee. I'm like, where's my clubs? And they're like, we don't know. Somebody took my clubs, which also had my car keys and my wallet.
Oh,
My God.
All I had, so I left for my honeymoon. That was a Saturday. I left for my honeymoon Monday. All I had was my passport. And Visa sent me a card to the hotel in Italy.
So do you think your clubs got stolen or someone just took
Oh, no,
them?
they 100% got stolen.
That's shady.
What kind of clubs were they?
TaylorMade. I had the back. Those were the days of the Thai Bubble 2. You remember that? Thai Bubble 2 driver?
No.
So the shaft went and then it bubbled.
Did it keep it straight, James?
It was my favorite driver ever, and it was
Wow.
gone. Anyway, happy
That's
anniversary,
low,
Cheryl.
man. That's
I
low.
love
That's
you.
really low.
It's low.
On your wedding day.
Well, the guy didn't know it was my wedding day.
Well, who steals golf clubs?
I also had to get a
think you're-
new key made for my truck because they took my car keys. It was a
That's
disaster.
expensive.
You're lucky they didn't take your car.
I was stressed, and then I got hammered in between the actual ceremony and the reception, and then I screwed up my entire speech because I was hammered. It's like it sounds like something Puffy would do.
Yeah.
That I did
It's
on
like
my
the
wedding.
hangover, except on the wedding night.
Oh, I was late for my wedding, though.
You were late.
Were you?
Yeah.
Well, like
Yeah.
substantially,
We got there, it's 3 o'clock ceremony, and I got there, I think, at 3:01.
and was
Tanya was already there. Her parents were so pissed.
it traffic?
It was traffic, but we dilly-dallied a little bit.
Yeah, a downtown Toronto wedding.
Well, we got married in North York, but I lived downtown, so we had to take the DVP, and traffic on a Saturday wasn't our friend.
Well, that is exceptionally poor planning. Would you
Yeah,
say?
I blame my groomsmen. It's their job to get me there. It's not my job to be
That's
there
very
on time.
No.
They
I was
screwed
late for
up.
my wedding, too. 15 years.
Oh,
Were you ever engaged?
Never.
Close.
Engaged to do what?
I know what you've been engaged in with your tiger bone.
No, man. I never even heard of Tiger Bone. I swear I'd never heard until you mentioned it.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
What about Stoff and Felicia?
I was on time for my wedding. However, I was at a wedding 2 weeks ago where the bride was almost an hour late.
Wow.
Also because of the DVP.
DVP, see?
Wow.
Steer clear of that.
Don't ever factor the DVP. For everybody listening outside of Toronto, the Don Valley Parkway, nicknamed the Don Valley parking lot, is one of the worst north-south routes in the world.
It's the only north-south route in the city. That's why it's so bad.
You can't. Well, you have the Allen Expressway. That's all it is.
I don't remember ever getting caught in a traffic jam on the Allen.
It stops at Eglinton.
Have you ever been to a wedding where like it didn't go down or something?
It's actually something that I've secretly always wanted to be at. I sometimes cheer for, especially if I don't know the people that well. I really would love to see someone either walk out or not show.
Wow.
I know one that I heard of, and one I was at, which was a family wedding on my wife's side. I won't get into detail. It was like a cousin. And the family did not like the guy she was marrying.
Okay.
And so the speech, it was kind of like her brother was giving like the toast to the bride and groom.
Yeah.
And it was really unfortunate. It was like, let's say the guy's name is Sean. That is not his name.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot about Sean. I don't like a lot of it. Sean's got a reputation. I wasn't happy when I heard about this, but there's nothing we can do about it, so raise a glass.
Wow.
Now, did they make it? Are they still together?
No.
Family knows.
That one lasted about a year and a half. Yeah. The other one was, and again, I'm going to bring him up for the second straight week, my buddy Shaw.
Yeah.
Who was the one from last week's episode about puking on my rug and felt shame. So one of his Jamaican buddies was getting married. I wish I could remember his name because he had a good Jamaican name. And Shaw said his best man was a guy named Little John.
Okay.
And so give me a name. Give me a good Jamaican name.
Dexter.
Dexter. Okay. So
no, wait. Detland.
Declan. It is, I think it's almost something like that.
Yeah,
Declan. Let's say it's Declan. So Little John is hammered and does the speech, and he's going, "Oh man, I can't do the good Jamaican accent, but oh man, Declan and I, we had some times, man. A lot of times when they were living together before they got. Now I went Scottish, didn't I? They were living together." When they were living together, give me some more Jamaican.
When they were
living together, we would sneak girls down into the basement, man, while Heather was sleeping upstairs.
No, that's not real.
This was the best man speech.
Oh. See, that's when you'd want to be at, and just be distant family, and just so you could howl.
God, just enjoy that.
Yeah.
We were supposed to do Groove Yard. Was supposed to do a wedding. Groove Train. What do you call it? I'm sorry. The Groove Yard. We were supposed to do a wedding in September in Ottawa, and we got a call the week before.
Ooh, things
not happening.
Oh wow!
Something about I don't know what happened, but yeah.
Did you ever have any moment, Puff, where you pondered pulling out of the wedding in the moments before? Any moments of fear?
I was pretty nervous before the wedding.
Yeah,
but no, I was.
Yeah, we both made strong decisions.
Yes.
Let's get to the week that was.
Let's discuss the week that was with James Dudley and the Rubber Boots Podcast crew.
Suppose if we should talk weddings, I should mention my dad's funeral was this past weekend. And I won't bring everybody down. We did our tribute a couple of weeks ago, but it went really well. It was hard, but in the end, great. A lot of family, a lot of great stories. My dad was a jokester, storyteller, a lot of great laughs with our families. So it was a tough weekend, but in many ways a wonderful weekend. I thought I'd try to share with you a couple of moments of levity. First of all of the family was gathered at our cottage. Mm-hmm. It was in a little tiny church in a small town called Arden, Ontario, is where the funeral is going to be. So the funeral's at 1:00. At noon, everyone's getting ready, and I'm already ready. So I'm like, I think I better go over there just to make sure the church and everything's okay.
Yeah.
So the rest of the family, my mom, my sisters, cousins, nephews, nieces, they're all getting ready. Okay, we'll see you. We're going to come over at 1:45. I get over there.
Tight.
So Jimmy drives over, gets there 12. The church is already full. And nobody, there's nobody at the church, no minister, but everybody, I guess, older people get there early.
I think that's fair to say.
And so now Jimmy's scrambling, and now I've got to greet everybody.
Yeah.
And so I'm greeting people at the door, and all these RCMP, one of the cool things, all these RCMP officers who didn't even know my dad
Yep.
showed up in full red surge.
That's awesome.
And
That's very good.
so now I'm greeting everybody and meeting everyone coming to the wedding, and that's always into the funeral. That's one of the weird things when you don't know. I mean, I knew a lot of people, but
Yeah.
I don't know, and people are telling you how they know your dad, and which is really, really cool.
Now hold on. Did you go by yourself, or did like Cheryl and the kids come with you?
I'm by myself.
Like literally
at
by
this point.
everyone else?
Yeah, and I'm doing everything. And the other thing is, I told my mom this. It's a tiny little church, and I said there's going to be a lot of people that come. So the church seats maybe 80.
Okay.
They brought in like 50 chairs. So there's 130.
Yeah.
There was 260 people at the funeral.
Overflowing, yeah.
So it was overflowing and just people standing everywhere. But this one guy, I'm so now greeting people at the entrance to the church, and I'm calling back to the cottage saying, "You guys better get here. Everybody's here." And this guy says, "Oh, James, I'm a big fan, and I read your book, and it changed my life and everything." I'm like, "Oh, how do you know my dad?" He goes, "No, I don't. I'm a big fan, and I just wanted to come and tell you." And so it was very sweet.
Yeah, for sure.
So the guy drove from I don't know wherever, Ottawa, an hour and a half just to come to the funeral to say hello, which you could be creeped out by that,
Yeah.
but he was a very nice man.
Nice.
And he came to the funeral and for the reception afterwards and stood in the reception line and said hello to my mother and everything. So
Nice.
it was and then my buddies came, and so the coolest thing for me of the day is we tailgated.
Oh, very nice.
So outside the reception, once I'd met everybody in there and done everything,
Yeah.
we put down the gate of my buddy's pickup truck, and my son and
Nice.
his girlfriend
Yep.
and all my buddies and Cheryl, and we tailgated and had beers with my dad, who was cremated,
And so you had
sitting
it,
on the back of the gate.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, so I thought he would have liked that. It was very cool. The one story I wanted to tell, I had to text this to Puffy last night, but I have some idiot friends, as you well know.
Yeah.
And one of my...
We're sitting right here.
Maybe my... yes. Mark Ward, who's going to be on the podcast, he's in my book. He's probably my best friend since grade 3, and he's one of the true idiots. So his sister had called him and said she wanted to send me a card, send our family a condolence card. So Mark tells his sister, she says, "Well, who's in the family again? What are the names?" Oh, Cheryl, Jared, Darian, Gracie. And he tells her, just for kicks, that we adopted a little girl from China named Shen Fang, which is not true. And so last night I'm just opening all the mail that I hadn't got to for a week.
Of course.
And I open this card, and it says, it's this beautiful condolence card. It says, "To James and Cheryl and Gracie and Darian, Jared and Shen."
Oh, Shen Fang.
And I swear I laughed for 20 minutes straight. So you know what, my dad would love it too, because he was a practical joker. So I hope he's up there wherever he is laughing at that gag, because he got a kick out of
That's
it.
funny. That's a legacy, right?
It is. The NFL draft was this past week, and
Yes.
Puffy thought of something that we could do in the week that was kind of a prop bit, a physical bit.
Because watching the NFL draft, one of the things that has always struck me is the embrace between Roger Goodell and the new members to the NFL family. And I mean, it's not like Roger knows these guys at all. But when they come up on stage and they hug, it's like an embrace like no other.
Okay.
And so I was wondering how long we could hold an embrace like that before it became uncomfortable.
All right.
Wow.
So do you want to go one by one?
Yeah.
Okay. So you and Lester start. So start on opposite ends of the room.
Oh, we have to. Okay.
One waits for the other,
Okay.
like Roger Goodell.
You be the commissioner just because you're closest to the mic.
All right.
Not because.
Do you want me to? Are we doing it like the draft, just to see, or is it just two people meeting
walk
each
out.
other?
Like the
So should I introduce Lester McLean? And
first round pick.
all right, the first overall selection of the Cleveland Browns, Lester the molester. No, not in that sense, in the football term. McLean.
Question.
All right,
Comes out. Excited.
Commissioner Sean Cameron. Very nice. 3 seconds, 4 seconds. It's feeling awkward to me. 4.5 seconds.
4.5 seconds.
All right.
4.85 to be exact.
4.85. Is this going to be like the combine time? So
Yeah, I'm
there's
going to have to sit with the
gonna have
video
to-
and review everything for sure.
So now it should be just me and Stoff. Should we just leave it at that?
Yeah, okay. So see
Okay.
if you guys can outdo us.
All right, Stoff can come in, and I'll be the commish, and you can introduce Stoff.
Okay.
I think I wanted to give extra time because I'm assuming the family's there and everything, But I just thought I just omitted that part. Okay, I think he's close enough.
Puffy, or Les, you want to introduce?
Ladies and gentlemen, first round pick of the Cleveland Browns, Christophe Mamon.
Oh, baby. Good job, man. Good job.
Hold on. They've blown us away now. It really is. Okay. I think this it was unbelievable how long that was held.
Please tell me this part's on TV.
The other people were getting more uncomfortable watching that.
I morphed it right into high school dance,
You
Stairway to
did,
Heaven.
No question.
Well done.
I put my hands around his ass.
Climbing the stairway to heaven.
Shout out to Allison Phillips, who I think I talked about last year on the pod, who I asked to dance
Allison Phillips sounds like a
8th
hot
Street.
girl name.
Oh, she was beautiful. Still is beautiful. Yeah.
She's no Brandy Atkinson. That's all.
Yeah,
I'll say.
Brandy Atkinson's still the leader.
What I
Pretty
did to
nice.
Allison Phillips, though, haunts me for the rest of my life. I asked her to dance every single slow song at a dance.
And
Remember?
she would always dance with you.
She kept, because she was such a nice girl. And by the 9th one, though, she was, and I would time, you know how you could time like 3 fast songs, 1
Yeah.
slow song? I was ready. Like, I basically stalked her. It's horrible. And like the 9th time, she was like, okay, again, yes, okay, I will.
Was she in your grade?
Yes.
Okay.
She went out with one of my buddies for a brief time, but we all loved Allison Phillips.
Well, good for you, though, for stepping up in a creepy way. But, I mean, still, you showed gumption.
I did. I was proud of it until I had time to reflect.
Well, fair enough. You didn't. What did you know at that time in your life? You know?
I had a couple of embarrassing. Debbie Prevost, too, I started necking with her.
Yeah.
And sort of realized afterwards she didn't really want to neck. You know, you can feel it in the kiss.
You were pulling in more than she was
I
pulling
was
in.
tryone to press her mouth open.
I'm happy to say I have no idea what that feels like.
Ooh.
Oh, sorry, Mr. Perfect, Mr.
No.
Everyone
I
I've ever
think-
been with has been.
No.
That sounded wrong. I was going to say willing. Everyone you've ever been with has been willing.
No. I mean, I just mean, I've never been that type of guy. Like, I was always pretty good. I use past tense. Always pretty good at knowing whether or not that the person was into it, because that's very important to me.
Oh, listen. Those 2 experiences aside, grade 9, grade 10, where I knew nothing, I have been, and it probably scarred me for life. I don't think I've ever come on to a girl since then because I was so scared of being rejected. I would, yes. I never even would tread on personal space after that.
That's how it is for most guys.
So there's a lot of
There are
guys out
some
there.
guys, though, that...
Just...
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, and
Aggressive.
I don't think I've ever been aggressive or anything like that. I mean, I've definitely I morphed into somebody who was a little more confident. But I mean, I'm not going to sit there and drop lines or anything like that. If I'm generally into somebody else, I'll say hi, blah 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 blah. And if the answer is no, that's it. That's fine.
But we all had the one friend who had the philosophy of if you approached 100 different girls in the
one's
room,
gonna
of course.
say
sooner or later that
Of
one
course.
would
For sure.
one would
Of
like
course.
you, right?
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I had, there's, I don't know, I could never ever have done that.
No, I couldn't handle the
No.
rejection.
No. But I suppose if you find your special someone that way, then it's all worth it, right?
Look,
And then for the rest of your lives, you can talk about how you were number 97.
Listen, you know how many really good-looking women out there never get approached by nice people because nice guys are afraid.
They always
because
say
they're so
that.
hot?
And the models always say that. I'm
Yeah,
not sure
but
if
they're
I
always...
believe it.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I
And then you
believe
see
it.
them with some guy that just had the balls to say hi.
Tom Brady. Classic example.
That's right. Lester, how was the tour with Elton Ron?
Very good, actually. We were actually kind of in the middle of it. We played at a casino on a resort called Akwesasne Casino.
You
That's
know,
just
you know my past with Akwesasne, right?
no.
Okay, let's finish though. Go ahead
Okay,
and
so
finish
we did
yours.
that, and then we were actually over just outside of Ottawa at Lac Lemay Casino.
Of course, yes.
So we played there. We came back for a day. Then we were in Oshawa last night, and then I fly out to Philadelphia to do Philadelphia and Atlantic City this weekend.
Ooh, those will be
that'll
fun ones.
That'll be
Nice,
fun.
that's awesome.
I'll hook you up with some Super Bowl stuff. You let me know what you need, man. Yeah.
Lac LeMay is where the second NHL fantasy draft.
Yes, it was. They mentioned actually that casino was right there.
The year that the All-Star game was in Ottawa. I won't tell the whole Akwesasne story. It's in my book, but that's where I got assaulted in a fight over gambling. When they first put that casino on the reserve was the days when I was a news reporter. Oh. And the reserve was torn over whether they wanted gambling and did not want gambling. There ended up being shootouts and such.
Wow.
And I came down... I'm sure I've told this story here. Puffy's heard it 18,000 times, so I'm not going.
Cub reporter talks his way past a police roadblock, ends up getting assaulted with baseball bats by a bunch of Akwesasne ladies, because it was very sexist back in the day. That particular reserve, the ladies would man the roadblock, and then the men were in a gunfight about a kilometer down the road. Wow. But they didn't want any police in, and the police, questionable police jurisdictions there, so none of the police wanted to get involved. So I talked my way up to the roadblock. My cameraman was there. His camera was rolling. All the ladies started running at us when they realized the camera was rolling and hitting us with baseball bats. But it was quite comedic because most of the ladies were older and just weren't moving very quickly. Yeah.
And so I was dodging them using all my touch football moves. And anyway, but my cameraman was an older gentleman, Ron, who was a pacifist, and at one point they were like literally bashing him. He was down on his knees.
Oh.
And
Were they,
I came
swinging?
over. Oh yeah, I came over and shoved one of them, and as soon as I did that, they went nuts. And then they had called down, I guess, to the men, and basically I turned at the last second and I could feel a guy kind of running towards me, and I got clotheslined by a guy with an AK-47.
Oh my God!
And he was on top of me, pressing it into my neck. Then the cops came down and busted it up, and we were on the. I was on the front page of the Ottawa Sun, and it said "War on the Reserve," and you saw me with my shirt ripped off, standing there.
Wow! Were you flexing?
Oh, I was totally flexing. But that was the night I made my debut on the CTV National News because of that. But the funniest thing was this was a good lesson in journalism about how papers are slanted left wing, right wing, whatever it may be. The Akwesasne paper said, first of all, the paper in the Ottawa Sun said, CJOH reporter James Duthie was assaulted by an Akwesasne grandmother, which my friends would never let me forget. I assaulted, or whatever.
She's a grandmother.
I was assaulted by one. But the Akwesasne paper said, reporter assaults Akwesasne woman, or something like that. Oh my gosh. And if you read the story, it didn't even mention like the gunfight or anything. It made it sound like I just got in my car, drove down to the reserve, shoved a woman, and drove back.
Isn't that kind of what you did?
Anyway, that was my Akwesasne history. Find people on Akwesasne. It was a rough time. That was before the Oka crisis back in maybe 89, 90, 91, my early days. I was a real Cub reporter, as Puffy says.
I'll tell you what, it was really nice, though. Everybody there was really nice. I mean, it just goes to show you the history. I mean, obviously that's history, but they've come a long way, and it seems very nice.
Yeah.
Good thing you didn't mention James Duthie. You might not have got the warm reception.
Persona non grata. So the tour's gone well?
It's gone well.
Good to hear, buddy.
How long did you guys play for, like, on a night? Like, if it's an hour and a half,
we did 2 1-hour sets in Akwesasne, and then the Lac LeMay show was 2 sets again, but it was probably about a 3-hour window altogether.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah, not too bad.
That's great.
Time for the segment we like to call Dreams.
So baby, dry your eyes, save all the tears you're crying. Oh, that's what dreams are made of.
Very exciting edition of Dreams because we have a new sponsor on board. You guys have heard of it before because I've talked about it lovingly and glowingly on this podcast. My favorite place on the island of Turks and Caicos, the Gansevoort Resort.
Oh, baby.
Coming on board, my friend Bruce, who runs the resort down there, fan of the show.
That place is spectacular.
It is probably the most beautiful place I've been to in my life. This is also the place, the villa. You know, I went to the villa. They now have some villas.
I know those pictures. I mentally flash back to them.
Grace Bay, it is on perhaps, in my opinion anyway, the most beautiful beach in the world. And I will be going back there often. The Gansevoort. If you have a chance to take your lovely bride, or if you're if you are the lovely bride listening, you want to take your lovely gentleman. It is only the best. The Gansey is 9 minutes from the airport.
Seriously.
It's a 3-hour flight from Toronto. Maybe, boom, you're there. Get on a 9 o'clock flight. You're on the beach 12:30.
Perfect.
Service is amazing.
Fantastic.
It's fantastic. So I'm glad to have the boys on board. So I had this dream the other night. I've been dreaming a lot lately.
Yeah.
But this was the one dream that featured some of you.
Oh, wow.
Perfect. So I'm just going to read it because I typed it into my phone as I woke up in the morning, as I always do. I'm broadcasting the Olympics. It's the Summer Olympics. It's in Buffalo. They've gotten a little desperate right now, our friends. One of the events is a water slide. The water slide is like a ski jump. It's like really steep. I think I was somehow morphing ski jump in my dream into a water slide. And then you kind of fly off and you do some tricks or whatever and you land in the water.
In the pool?
Puffy is one of the competitors.
I think I'd be pretty good.
Puffy jumps onto the slide and is flying down. So imagine if you're water sliding down a 90-meter ski jump. You're going super fast, right?
It'd be intimidating, yeah.
But there's an attendant at the bottom of the jump. And just before you go flying, he's there. And he closed the gate at the bottom of the jump. And Puffy hits the gate.
That's going to leave a mark.
And the gate attendant is former NHL, TSN, CBC commentator Glenn Healy.
Son of a...
And he is wearing a referee's shirt.
Please tell me he had his bagpipes in your dream.
He did not have his bagpipes. He does not help Puffy. He just shakes his head in disgust.
Yeah, I've seen that look before.
At Puffy's crumpled body.
Oh, jeez.
I am commentating. I say something like, I can't remember exactly, I believe I know that competitor, and I believe he's dead.
Wow, you took that a lot easier than I thought you would.
Yeah, now I'm at a bar, so I've gone out after Puffy's death.
Celebrating me, I hope.
It feels like a ski lodge, so now somehow it's changed to the Winter Olympics. Lester is playing at the bar. His lead singer is TSN's Lindsay Hamilton.
Wow.
She says, I'd like to dedicate this to our friend Puffy.
I'd like to dedicate the next one to our good friend, Puffy.
Wow, that's very nice of her.
And I'm sitting at a table at the back with this is where it gets a little weird, with my two dogs.
Okay.
And former Senator Mike Duffy.
What's that thing that Weeksy had?
Yeah.
Mike Duffy.
Hi, James. When Mike Duffy was running, I guess, for do you run for senator?
I don't know.
Or whatever. He was politicizing somehow. He recorded everybody's name. And then I guess would they phone you on an auto dial?
Auto dial.
And so it would say, so it would be, hey, Lester, Mike Duffy here. And then it would say his message.
But then sometimes it'd be like, the Duffster here.
Hey, it's the Duffster here.
It was awesome.
Like, he had about 5 different intros.
Really?
And so Bob Weeks just plays that for us at every Masters whenever we're bored, just for a laugh. So Mike Duffy's there with my dogs. I keep yelling, is Puffy dead, at the stage.
Okay.
Because Lindsay has dedicated the song to him. Lindsay and Lester and the band ignore me, and they start playing Chris Isaac's Wicked Game. I think this is a real test of Stoff. Stoff, when he produces the podcast, he likes to get the, when I have somebody in my dream, he'll get them to say the lines, the actual people in the dream.
Yep.
Will he get Lindsay Hamilton to sing Chris Isaac's Wicked Game with Lester singing background vocals?
I'd like to dedicate the next one to our good friend, Puffy. Gone too soon.
The world was unfair and no one could save me but you. It's strange what desire make foolish people do. No, I don't wanna fall in love. It's only gonna break your heart. No, I don't wanna fall in love. It's only gonna break your heart.
Rest in peace, Puffy. Just getting to know you, man. Just getting to know you. Why?
Last week he got the clip from my short movie that
I know. I didn't even notice that.
It was unbelievable because I'm like, how do I know that
You
clip?
played
And then
you played good-looking guy,
handsome man.
handsome man in what was
Groomed.
in the movie Groomed.
Yeah.
And he found the clip
Found
from the movie.
the clip.
People become more attractive because they're unavailable.
It's true. I had no shot with him while I was single.
And you were
unbelievable.
actually a handsome man. Like,
I
they
was.
made reference to
Yeah.
you as a handsome man.
It was great.
Stuff we really don't actually expect you to be able. Lindsay, I just want, actually, could you tape you asking Lindsay Hamilton to do this?
Yeah, we'll see how well that goes.
Don't fall in love. That's a haunting song.
That's so good, though. Great music video.
There's a commercial that's running now. Somebody else has done a nice version of that. It's a female vocal too. So
Right.
maybe that was in your subconscious.
Right.
That she was.
Yeah, that could be right. It was on my love tape back from the day.
Cheryl's like, not that song again.
No one can say
Yeah, that's a great.
Anyway, that was my dream. Brought to you by our friends at the Gans of Work. Glad to have you guys on board. If you need a vacation, that's where you want to go in Turks and Caicos. Here's a fun one. We haven't done this all year long. Kirby Penner wrote us on Twitter and said, will you guys bring back the reporter happiness rankings? And my answer to him was, only if it's by popular demand. And by that, I mean one guy, so yes.
This is for you, Kirby.
Kirby, it's for you. It's brought to you by iDrinkCoffee.com.
Middle of the morning, can't keep my eyes open, cause I got to have a cup of java. I got to have a cup of java. So I better log on to I Drink Coffee,
iDrinkCoffee.com. Almost screwed it up again.
No.
A very popular segment from last year.
TSN Reporter Happiness Power Rankings.
Just to refresh you, or if you're a new listener this year, we take the TSN reporters from all their cities, and we decide if they're happy, angry, frustrated, elated by their current lot in life.
Yes.
Essentially, right?
Because it's a very busy time of year.
It is a very
for the
busy
most
time of
part
year
for them.
So are you going to go in reverse order again?
I was going to start with number one.
Oh, you're going to start with number one? Go for it.
Yeah.
Wow. The happiest TSN reporter.
Yes.
Okay.
So I went with Farhan Lalji.
Ooh, interesting. And why is that?
He's still running on the fumes of a championship in football.
Coached his team to
Coached his team
championship
to the
last year.
provincial championship in
Yeah.
British Columbia.
Yeah.
And he couldn't be happier with his life right now.
Even though the Canucks are gone,
He doesn't
they didn't
care
win.
about that other nonsense. It's all about football.
And he's
It's all
got
about
time.
Card. Yeah, he's got nothing but time.
The Lions aren't in camp yet.
Yeah.
Do you think Farhan could get, like, if he continues to have
think he
success, like an
could be-
assistant coaching job in the
I think he
CFL?
could definitely be a coordinator in the CFL.
Or like quarterbacks coach at Boise, not Boise State, but Boise College. Something third division or some JUCO school.
Listen,
I don't
it's a
know.
start,
He had some magic going last year in the playoffs, so I think he could do something.
All right, happiest. Again, it doesn't necessarily mean the assignment.
No.
Sometimes we think guys are happier without assignments, hence we give them their number one.
Exactly.
Ness?
So number two is Ryan Rashad.
Just stay down. I got this.
Ryan Rashog is in Copenhagen.
He's over in Copenhagen. He is enjoying what is probably one of the best gigs you can have in television.
the World Championship.
The World Championships. You're over in Europe. You're over with Darren Dreger.
in Draeger Cafe.
Dreger
Cafe.
He's got his boy Parker there.
Yeah.
Life is good for Ryan Rashad.
Yeah, it seems like a pretty cushy assignment too.
Yeah, the guys that I was bugging MJ because he's going over there and he was trying to claim how busy they are. But
Well, they do a couple of games a day now once they get
Yeah.
going because we've become, I think, the world feed or
We are
something.
the
So
world feed.
we do every
I'm
game for
pretty
that.
sure of that.
but
Yeah,
Still a
good,
pretty good
good gig.
gig.
And by the
it's
way,
gonna
Ryan Rashog deserves this. Did a terrific job reporting on the Humboldt tragedy. Had to do some really, really tough interviews. His interview with Chris Joseph is still one of the most heartbreaking things that I've ever seen. So he deserves to be up on the rankings.
Ryan Vardy too. The camera.
Yes, and deserves. What happened to your voice there, kid?
I lost it.
Can we shout out?
I lost my voice.
I believe the Frank Saravelli also did a lot of really
Yeah.
strong work.
Frank was okay.
Was very was very proud of our crew. Okay, number 3.
Jermaine Franklin.
Okay.
Wow.
He's just chilling till the NBA Finals. he's loving life right now.
Now, is there a risk, though? Because Jermaine always covers the NBA Finals.
Yeah.
If the Raptors make it, does he get bumped
Wow, if he
by
gets
the
bumped-
contingent of Rod Black
Yeah.
and Kate Burness?
That-
Nabil covers the Raptors a lot.
Not factor that in, so he's going to be a little nervy about
yeah,
that.
yeah. Will he be wanting the Cavs to win just
Yes,
for that reason,
yes.
do you think?
Interesting. I would suggest to you that that would be terrible. I funny enough, I'm good friends with Jermaine's brother Julian. So
Do you know the brothers of every TSN on-air personality?
I do not, but in any case, I think that'd be a shame. I would hope that the powers that be would realize, hey, listen, the more the merrier. It's a major thing if the Raptors get to the final. You got to have your Florida reporter.
Not if it cuts into our budget for the Stanley Cup final.
Yeah, exactly. We got to draw the line here.
Come on,
Lester. You know where me and Puffy come from as far as priorities. Jermaine's a great guy. He deserves to be in the top 3. He's on the podium. On the podium. Jermaine, number 4.
Sarah Orlesky.
Okay, now
Finally relevant again.
yeah, she was at the bottom of your list for a long
She
time.
really didn't do much last year.
No.
No one really knew she was working.
Right.
Now she's back. The Jets are on fire.
She's hosting panels. She's out there. She's got Saravelli, Dreger at times, Poulin.
Yeah. Now I think it's only Pierre LeBrun and
But just so Orlesky
Saravelli's.
knows, and this is not 1999 Sarah Orlesky.
No, this
that's a
is
whole different person.
present day.
Current day Sarah Orlesky, you watch yourself because for Game 6 in Winnipeg, the big boys are coming to town.
The big dogs are coming in.
Bobby and Jimmy were getting on a plane. We're coming into the Peg. The people will be crazy. And Orlesky, you take your rightful place. You go back. You do a fantastic job reporting, but you get your ass off the panel. That's my little warning. All right.
You listen
Shots
to me,
fired.
Right? I don't give a damn about the paternity test, all right? Young Sarah Lesky's my daughter. You got it?
No, she's not. We rectified that. Yes.
Number 5, Mark Masters.
Okay.
He hasn't got much going. The Leafs are out, so he's kind of chilling till Wimbledon.
Wimbledon. Will he still
Although
do
maybe
all the
French
majors?
Open. Maybe French Open. But
French first, yeah.
French first,
French.
then Wimbledon, and then I sat beside him for a couple of the Leafs home games. Sat
Yeah.
beside Masters Nation, and he says, plans. He still is. It looks like he's still going to all those tournaments.
That's a pretty good gig.
Oh,
you
yeah,
get
sweet gig.
like 4 weeks in Europe. I'm
Right.
sure you could travel off it a bit.
Oh yeah, I think he enjoys it. Wimbledon's his favorite. He told me.
Oh, yes.
Okay,
Next, I have Matthew Shinetti.
Matthew Shinetti getting ready for CFL,
CFL's
loading up on
coming.
his
I think he
Converse.
does some Raptors, but I really don't see him on the TV much
He's,
because there's a lot of other Raptor people involved.
but when the
It's pretty
CFL
big.
season starts, Shinetti is everywhere.
He's a big deal.
sidelines.
Yeah, he's getting the plum assignment.
Yeah, he's a valuable dude. He works out a lot too. He's probably just pumping it.
He's very jacked.
He went to, I chatted with me and Shinetti, had a little conversation a couple
Yeah.
weeks ago. He went to Australia or New Zealand. He went to New Zealand for a week.
Wow.
That's
Aggressive
counting
travel.
like from
Travel.
there's a day and a half each way.
Essentially 3 days.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've always made it a rule I'll never go over there for less than 2 weeks, but
Oh,
I've
exactly.
also never gone there.
Yeah, me too.
So maybe I should just change that rule and go.
I keep thinking. I say to him, I'm saying I'll take a month, but I'm not going to go in the summer, which is their winter,
Yeah.
which really isn't that bad. But I'm not going to go in the summer. I'm not going to waste my summer over there.
Yeah.
So I'll probably have to go in winter, but then I'm working. So
You should maybe take off January one year. Do World Juniors and then just bugger off for a month.
Wow.
that's not going to happen.
Make it up in the summer.
I've already told you I want to be Brian Williams. I want to be, Brian's 70, maybe early 70s.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be like 90 and still hosting something. Just pop me up for here and there.
Maybe it'll have to be
Make
the
an
Aussie
appearance.
Rules football final. That'll get you over there.
Even the darts. I'll do the darts. Okay.
John Liu is next.
So is he last?
He is 7th.
Okay. How many do we have? I don't know.
8.
I lost track of our
Yeah,
reporters. John Liu just.
Montreal's a bit of a gong show right now. Wouldn't be fun to be working there.
Right.
A lot of stuff going on behind the scenes.
A high pick in the draft, though.
High
this
pick in
year.
the draft, yeah. But still not that great.
Good,
You know what?
Great city in the summer, though.
I'll tell you
That's true.
what, I had to say, I know John pretty well. I consider him a friend, and you're absolutely right.
You know, his,
With your ranking.
you know his brother Phil Liu.
I do know.
And,
Who was the other guy? It was Ray Ferraro's brother. He
Yeah, Ray
plays
Oh, yeah,
that
well,
band,
I'm touring
right?
with
See?
Tony later
Yes.
this year.
And
yeah.
you should form a band, just like called TSM Bros.
The
Yeah.
TSM
And it'll be
Bros.
Tony Ferraro.
Yep.
And what's Jermaine
and Julian-
Franklin's?
Julian
Franklin
Franklin,
can sing.
Yeah.
He could probably sing, yeah.
Yeah. Phil Liu on drums. John Liu plays drums.
He does.
So his
He
brother
plays
Phil.
a mean drum.
He's a very good drummer.
Yes.
Okay, last.
Brent Wallace, Ottawa.
Of course. Just miserable
Just
all
miserable
the time.
all the time.
Yeah. And they're bringing back the coaches next year. He's not even going to
Yeah.
get fresh coaches.
No.
The Senators have announced that. It's,
Yeah. He's not popular.
Has he ever gotten out of the basement?
I don't think so.
What would it take to get Wallace out, do you think?
I don't know. He's going to be down there pretty
Or
well.
Wallace?
He was down in the basement, even though the team was a goal away from the Stanley Cup.
Well, because he didn't.
Because he had to work a lot.
He had to work a lot. now that he's not working, he's
Yeah.
still not happy.
Yeah, that's
Exactly.
true. What about the
I don't think we give anyone a harder time than Wallace.
what about the Red Blacks, though?
No,
No, he won't be happy about
he won't
that.
be happy. He's
No.
have to go to practices and stuff.
That was the Reporter Happiness Rankings brought to you by our friends at iDrink. Reporter, what did I say?
Happiness ranking.
Did I say it right?
Yeah.
Brought to you by our friends at iDrinkCoffee.com. We're under the clock
And
here
for you,
because
Kirby.
radio show is going to start in here, so I'm trying to motor through our
let's get outta
segments.
here.
It's time for Fandom. Last week, the question, Puffy had a dirtier version, but we PG'd it up and said, who would you rather spend some time in a hot tub with? PK Subban and Lindsey Vonn, rumored to be a new couple, or Mike Fisher and Carrie Underwood, rumored to be married for the last, 10 years or so. And 62%, when I checked last, had voted for Mike and Carrie.
Oh, really?
Which I was kind of surprised about. PK's got a great
She
personality.
killed the anthem the other night.
Oh, I know.
I think she was the one who won the game for them.
So
She's such a good singer.
She really is.
And stunningly beautiful, really.
All right, here's some answers. Here's Carter 8. I'm channeling my inner Rod Smith baby and have Lindsay and PK over, then call Mike and Carrie. Then the second Lindsay and Carrie get in the hot tub, I'm kicking PK and Mikey to the curb. Hashtag it's flat money. Oh, wow. Solid move.
Not bad.
Eldad says, I'll pick Carrie and Lindsay. That was not an option, but I understand where you're coming from. Brad Lanise says, Mike and Carrie, this is a real Sophie's choice here. Like Jimmy says, anything can happen. That's true. Team Toba 13. Can we go off the board and pick Stoff and Betty?
Wow. It's flat money.
I think that's going to win Team Toba 13.
That's right. That's the winner. Ding, ding,
That's
ding.
good. I win them one. I hear one more here. Scott Campbell. Have to go with Mike and Carrie on this one because a little Jimmy once told me Fish is a funny guy. Also, my Live from the Hot Tub cover of the Rubber Boots Guy song by Carrie Underwood that I would record might have a chance to join Elton Ron version in the Canadian Podcast Music Hall of Fame. I enjoyed that very, very much.
Well thought out. Well thought out.
Mackers has a comment about PK jacked up on Tiger Bone. I'm going to move past that. And so winner chicken dinner was Team Toba 13. Contact us on Twitter. I'll get you an autographed copy of The Guy on the Left. Coming up, I have a great prize before the season's end. Maybe we'll do it in our last episode of the season. I had this left over, one of those special edition of the Budweiser lights where it goes off, your team scores and
nice.
It goes off. It's like a limited edition signed by Wayne Gretzky. I'm going to give one away here on the podcast. Okay, this week's question on Fandom comes from comes from one of our fans, Lester Mucklan. Lester, he's been giving me a hard time because he comes up with Fandom questions and I just toss them aside.
Yes.
It's
because
like I'm
they're
not even here.
Well, he's a big sports fan.
Yeah.
Lester is, and so he gives me diehards. And I said, for Fandom, they want us to be a little offbeat. And so, Lester, do you want to present your question?
My question is this, very simply. What's worse for athletes during their playing career? Going bald or going gray?
It's a very good question. So for
That is a good question.
a hockey perspective, for instance,
You're shocked.
Alexander Ovechkin going hardcore gray right
Yeah.
now, and he's got these. I could give him credit; he's not dying it. He's got some mix of gray, and then I guess what would be
Ryan Getzlaf?
Ryan Getzlaf. Ryan Getzlaf did not enjoy going bald early.
No.
He was the one who complained to the league that he thought helmets were rubbing off his hair.
Not your genetics.
I don't know that he complained to the league, but I think his agent had brought it up at some point. But now, when he shaved it down to the bone, he looks like a badass.
Yeah.
Like
Yes,
I think
he does.
Getzlaf looks good bald, right?
Yeah, you can definitely look at Mark Messier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael Jordan.
Jordan.
LeBron's going hardcore bald. Tiger.
Man. LeBron.
Tiger, yeah.
LeBron.
Although if you can wear a hat, you can get away with it a little more.
LeBron, shave it off, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shave it
You think
off.
it looks bad the way it
I
is?
do.
Oh, yeah.
I think it looks all patchy. It's just,
Okay, so when we put the question up on Fandom, should we put Ovechkin as the guy going gray?
Yeah.
And like LeBron or Tiger? Who do you think looks worse?
LeBron.
I think LeBron looks worse.
Okay.
And again, Puffy makes a great point about the hat.
Right. I think bald. I think bald is more of a fear for men than gray. But I know what you're saying. It looks strange. What's Ryan Miller's brother's name? Who had that? He had a weird patch of gray. Played in the league for a long time. It'll come to me. People are going to be screaming at their radios.
JT Miller?
No.
I don't know.
He played for Anaheim when they won the Cup over Ottawa in 07. Anyway, he had an odd patch of gray in his hair, and he went gray very young. He was like 23 in the league and already had gray. Ovi, but if you're a legend, I don't think gray matters as much as bald. I'd take gray over bald. You?
I would probably take gray over bald, yeah.
I would take the gray too because listen. At the end of the day, you can always color your hair if you really want to, right?
But on certain athletes, bald looks really good.
For sure.
Just wouldn't be on my egg-shaped head. It would not be good.
I still go bald, so.
You'd look okay.
I
Lester.
shaved my head. I shaved my head at one point.
Yeah, I think you'd look good. You got a good, nice round head.
I tried.
You?
I look good. I look good, Shave.
Yeah, I shaved mine once. Yeah. It wasn't the shaving. I thought I looked okay, better than I thought, but it's the growing in that's really
You got good
difficult.
hair, though.
You gotta,
Yeah, I know.
Like, it probably helps you by about 2 or 3 points.
Yeah, well, the plugs. quality
Quality work.
plugs. So that's our question on Fandom this week. Go on and
hold
vote,
on.
and you can win something.
what about Stoff's answer? How do you
Stoff?
feel about this?
Gray or bald?
I'll say bald is worse, just because I guess there's more of an awkward stage, and the brother's name is Drew Miller.
Drew Miller, of course.
Drew
Thank
Miller.
you, Drew Miller.
Drew Miller.
Played, yes.
Looking out for you, Stoff.
Now, if it's 80%, more than 80% say bald, that means it was a bad question, and you'll never get to ask one again.
That's
Fair enough.
true.
All
Fair
right,
enough.
just so you know, I just want
You
to
want to be in
let
that
the rules out there right
55
now.
to 45 range.
All right.
Stoff, we got to go.
I got a couple of minutes here.
I know, but we got a Puffy's hypotheticals. It's a little complicated. Should we save it for next week? Is what I'm saying.
It definitely can live.
Yeah. All right. So let's tease it.
Okay.
Let's tease it. So next week on Puffy's hypotheticals, why don't you do it? Do the tease line.
I'm going to see if these guys would be able to pull off a bank robbery.
Right.
Wow.
And it's not just like he's got all of the details.
Very specific
done.
Right.
situation.
Remember Inside Job?
Yes.
That was a great.
That was fantastic.
So,
Washington.
if people could do me a
Jodie
solid
Foster,
and no
Clive
one-
Owen.
Clive Owen, yeah.
Yeah.
No one rob a bank
The
this
perfect
week.
bank robbery. So Puffy's got the perfect bank robbery for us. He's going to lay it out for us next week in Puffy's hypotheticals. We have to go because those clowns from Overdrive have to do some radio show. Who gives a crap about that when you could listen to the Rubber Boots podcast all the time?
Apparently, their podcast numbers are quite large.
Well, it's because they if you go
it's saying something like
cumulative
900,000 or
okay.
something.
So every hour of the podcast of the show is a podcast. So they do 15 hours a week. So if you cumulatively do all the math, then it's going to make for a lot of listeners. If the Rubber
strutting
Boots
around pretty
podcast
much.
was done 3 times a day,
Yeah.
we'd be,
Well,
you know,
you'd be killing it.
we'd have probably 25 million listeners a week.
Kill it.
I'm
Let's
pretty
go.
sure.
It would
No
be
problem.
huge.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. Was this episode 29?
I think
Yeah,
it was,
I think
yes.
We're only, the network only bought 30 episodes
Only
this year.
30. Wow.
But we're going to
So I
press
guess-
on.
So we're done till June.
We're done
Do a
now.
season finale.
No, we're going to definitely do a few more until the New Jack Summer episode, the topless episode happens.
That's right.
Sometime in June. How's that going?
I'm going to have panic attacks.
You're not going to be able to sleep till then?
Yeah, I got to start getting it together.
Hey,
here.
buddy, you have a new lease on life. You died in a tragic water slide accident.
Would
and
I
now
be able
you're
to
back.
punch Healy in the face the next time I see him? Just
The funny thing is, Heels, who's actually a great guy.
Yeah.
But on TV sometimes he's so sarcastic and such, and that it was the TV sarcastic negative side. He was just looking over your limp body.
he would do that too.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll see you next week on the Rubber Boots Pod.
I'd like to dedicate the next one to our good friend, Puffy. Gone too soon.
The world was on fire and no one could save me but you. It's strange what desire will make foolish people do. No, I don't wanna fall in love.
Girl is only gonna break your heart.
No, I don't wanna fall in love.
Girl is only gonna break your heart. Rest in peace, puppy. Was just getting to know you, man. Just getting to know you. Why?
Are you wearing your rubber boots tonight?